Alright, so we have a mechanic coming in probably 5-10 minutes. We're just waiting for him to text Seth and then we'll let him in the gate. And then he'll take a look and hopefully it's something small. We got it started earlier, then it died. So we're hoping that it's just something that we missed and he can just kind of twist a bolt and it'll be done. What? That's him? Alright. The mechanic's here. Boy. We basically I called a ton of different mechanics. One said that they were out to lunch and we're gonna they'll get back to us, and then their power went out at their facility, so I guess they couldn't work. And then this guy did get back to us, and then I have a call out to somebody else. So it's basically winner is who can get here the quickest is gonna get the job. So I'm hoping that this guy is gonna be able to help us, and we'll see. We'll troubleshoot as we go, but that's the biggest project. Autopilot, we ordered a part for autopilot for the gears, like the gears inside of the auto helm, and it is hopefully, crossing our fingers, going to be here. We overnighted it, so it should be here Thursday, and today is Tuesday evening, so hoping that comes. So then that's our autopilot, our sails are being done, and then the engine. So those are our 3 massive projects that we're working on right now. We have little things like the little cap to this winch that we want to fix, but those are really small, tiny little projects. We just want to focus on those 3 big ones. The mechanic left after only an hour. He had diagnosed the problem quickly, informing us that there was water at the bottom of our fuel tank. As the sun set, we devised a plan as a family for the morning on how we were going to fix this issue and what we needed to get from West Marine and Home Depot to get the job done.
Alright, so we got a lot done today. We were super productive, which feels nice. We got both sails down and to the sail maker so they can redo the luff tape where it's chafed. We needed to do that before we left anyways. We wanted to do it before we left San Francisco, but we didn't have the time. So now that we have the time to do that, we're going to knock that out, and we're already here. So we have that into the sail makers, so they should be doing that and hopefully get us that in a couple days. We also have ordered the parts for the autopilot as well, so we should have those gears back in a couple days so that we can put the sails back on and fix those gears and put the autopilot all back together and then install that, and hopefully that works. Engine wasn't starting because of water in the fuel, so there's water in the fuel tank, so we're gonna have to pump that out. So we got an oil pump.
Alright, we're back at West Marine. This is actually the 3rd time we've been here today, so I'm getting more polish, oil pads, and then we're getting a system to pump out the water from our tanks. So hopefully we can get it going. Oh, and grease. We got grease. 3rd time's a charm, and then we're going to Home Depot. Good night. We're also walking around right now trying to find another cap, a better cap, because we don't know how the water is getting into the fuel tank. So we're gonna get another cap that's hopefully a little bit more sturdy and then can lock it. That way no more water gets in, because we diagnosed the problem, now we just gotta fix the problem. So we'll fix it, but then we gotta prevent it. It's a fixing, preventing system. I can't believe that was on sale. The one thing that we need is on sale. Unbelievable.
We got the oil changer, and then we wanted an extension to that line to make sure that we get all of the bottom of the tank and get into the corners and everything that we can as possible. So we also bought a copper tube to connect to the plastic tube that comes with the oil changer, so we can stick this down in and kind of maneuver it a little bit better with an adapter. So we also bought grease and gear lube at West Marine while we were there for the autopilot, so I can grease up all those parts before putting that back together.
We also wanted, these run on the house battery, but we wanted our battery operated lights that work. So we mounted this little remote, but I also have another one of the remotes in here. So you can turn them on, and then they also are red lights. So battery operated, that way we have a backup just in case. You're gonna put the copper at the bottom? So where's the switch?
The bottom of the pump.
The bottom of the pump. The little squishy thing?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just watching to make sure that if it's water or something?
It's now starting to become fuel.
Fuel?
I believe, and
Oh, yeah, neither do I. Okay, ready, set. Couple little chunks, but mostly pink fuel. Oh, now big chunks. Still fuel, all fuel.
pink stuff. And it's pink now?
Yeah, see?
Okay.
But do you see the black stuff at the bottom of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the water. The
You-
little bit of water that was in there.
I just imagined we were going to be filling that up with water.
Well, that would have been a bigger issue if there was that much water in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. The water's at the bottom of the tank?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Did you move that thing around?
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah. Let's see, this is, oh, it is hard because it's so
So
right.
now, hopefully that tank's good. Now I just gotta clear all the pipes and all the filters to the engine.
Sure, because it would have piped through when we were cranking. But then
Well, the water.
once the fuel starts getting through and it gets rid of the water, then we should be operating on a normal engine how it should run.
Yeah.
Great. All right, so this is what we got at West Marine. It is electric, which is going to make it a little bit easier. And we attached it to copper wire from Home Depot to make it longer and ran it into the fuel tank. And this is electric, so we won't have to pump it by hand to get the water out. But you'll see some of the stuff at the bottom that we got out so far. You've got some fuel, got some chunk stuff, and water.
So here's the
Right,
update.
sorry.
This morning we went to Home Depot, got some tape, plumber's tape, and then Seth wanted a caramel macchiato, so we got that for him. That'll keep him going the rest of the
That's
day.
right. Got it.
You got to have the right fuel in the engine, both
Personally
and
mechanically.
mechanically. Look at you. That's going to go right in there.
Is it?
Maybe.
So right now we're draining the water out of the fuel tanks. We did that this morning. Now we're draining the rest of the water out of the hoses that go from the tank before it gets to the engine.
As much as possible.
As much as possible. We got to get fuel to that engine, so she'll
That's
crank
almost
over.
made for that.
Yeah, that's almost perfect.
Okay, so we just pumped out water, and as you can see, it's now fuel going through the line.
That's what you want.
So what we
I
want.
think we are good now.
50 horses pushing the boat.
To Catalina Island.
To Catalina Island, where
Apparently.
we're going to
Anchor
anchor.
out for the night.
Got to anchor out, make sure all systems are working.
All right, crank her over again.
There's something back here.
All right.
We heard so many people mention how awesome Minnie's yacht surplus was, so we hopped in the car and drove an hour and a half each way to check it out. We admired all of the items they had and rummaged through bins of old clutches, cleats, and hardware, searching for any hidden gems. We ended up getting a gas cap for a project we had planned this week, a drogue, women's foul weather gear overalls, and a barely used Code Zero that would fit post time. We plan to use the Code Zero for any light wind downwind sailing for our next Pacific run. We learned that most likely water got into our fuel tank because of a faulty plastic gas cap we had on our fuel tank. This allowed rainwater to get into the tank, so we made it a priority to begin installing a new stainless steel cap to help eliminate any possibility of this happening in the future. Alright, so it's disconnected from the clamps, but it's still on the hose clamps.
2 hours later.
I like the colors. It's a really good seal.
All right, so we are working on the
Careful, the new screws are in there.
Oh, sorry. Oopsies. Oopsie poopsies. Didn't see that. So I'll just hold it up like this. So this is the old cap that we just took off. Somehow water is getting into our diesel tank. So we got a new one from West Marine and we are switching it out. So we got the old one out, but now we got to get the new one in. So Seth is up here and his parents are down below holding it so that we can kind of clamp it down together, and then it should be good to go and we can cross that project off the list. No more water in the diesel tanks. Go Yoga.
Pull it out for a second, Dad. Yeah.
It took longer than planned to replace the diesel tank cap, but after some trial and error and finagling, we got the cap secured and sealed. Good morning. It's chilly here in California. Seth and his parents left with the rental car to go pick up our sails. They're also going to see what spinnaker and code 0 they have that is used that we can have potentially for this boat. So I didn't go with them because there's not enough room for 3 people, and if it was me it would be 4 people and 3 sails. So they're running there. They're also running to Home Depot. We are going to get a gas generator. That way we have the engine, the Jackery solar setup for 4,000 watts, and a gas generator just as like a backup to the backup. So that is what we are doing today. They're going to come back, bring the sails, we're going to put them up, and then that way our engine is fixed and our sails are like repaired and just kind of ready to go, and then maybe even have another light wind sail, which would be pretty awesome. So I am just sitting here kind of doing some admin stuff, finalizing the slip, but this boat feels like home. I think in the beginning I thought, did we buy a bad boat? Because a lot went wrong. But we started fixing everything, and that's the part of boat life, is things do break. It's basically a home on moving on the water. So things do tend to go wrong. But what's really helpful is Seth is pretty handy. So everything that we fixed this week, we were able to troubleshoot, and it didn't cost that much, which was good because I was a little nervous. So it wasn't that bad at all. So we are just troubleshooting a couple last things, and then it's kind of sad because we're going to go back to Hawaii, and this boat's going to sit here for a little tiny bit before we can come back and then reprovision and do all the things, and then do Pacific Crossing round 2, which I will be going on. We got the water out of the gas tanks, which is really, really good. We have the gears coming in today from the autopilot. The autopilot that we have is plastic gears, so we're completely going to remove those and put in actual gears so that it's way better quality. And then on top of that, sails are coming back today. We will get those up. That way we have a working engine and repaired sails. So we have a lot of projects to do. Autopilot's on the docket today, putting up the sails today, and then we will get cracking on the final last little things we need to do. The rest of the projects are pretty small, like fixing the toilet, fixing like a couple little like deck things, and we'll be good to go. We just have some more exciting sails coming up. Honestly, we get to do it twice, and we each get to do it because I wasn't gonna get to experience a Pacific Crossing. Yeah, stay tuned. I gotta stay tuned because we got a lot coming up. So so many boats out here this morning. We spent the week using up our fresh provisions. Cooking this meal made me truly appreciate this galley. The space, the ability to turn on the propane with just a switch, pressurized sink water, a large fridge, and just the true beauty of this galley made me excited for all of the meals to come at sea, at anchor, and in the slip. Alright, so we have been working with our strength. Seth has been doing all of the projects, and I have been doing a lot of the admin logistics, because since this wasn't in our plan, getting a permanent slip here and fixing some of the things to get out of the transient slip is kind of something that we're both working on. So Seth has been doing the projects clearly, and I have been busting my rear end trying to find a slip. So it's been a little bit stressful. Some slips, one was $5,000 a month. Just let that sink in. And I was like, okay, cross that off the list. But it had to be a backup option. But I found one that's reasonably priced in San Pedro. And I just got an email that said, see slip assigned to you, which means I locked it in. We will send over the contract via DocuSign effective immediately. Yes! So I'm so excited because we have all of today. We have 3.5 days left in the slip before we have to be there. And we can get here, obviously, once we sign the contract. So I was a little nervous because it took 4 business days for this to be approved. And I have the other information to send over, but I'm just like, that's like the biggest relief, is I wanted to make sure this beautiful home that we have is safe when we are in Hawaii. And I didn't want to sign a year lease because we won't be here for a year, and some of them required that. So I think I called like at least 50 places to find a slip. A lot of them didn't have them. A lot of them were really expensive. A lot of them had, one said they had a 5 to 10 year wait list. So I was like, so Sunday's not a possibility because we need it by Sunday. So Sunday wasn't a possibility for a 5 to 10 year wait list, but we secured it, and I just feel like such a relief because now we have the engine fixed. We have a lot of the big projects fixed as well as logistics. And that's why Seth and I make a great team. We always joke that I've got the admin skills, he's got the handyman skills, and together we make a perfect team. So, okay, I'm so happy. I just had to share that because I've been working on that nonstop for just days. Yay. We have a place for our home. Woo! It's good to have a place for your home because I was afraid that we were going to have to leave, and what were we going to do with our home?
Okay, we just bought this generator at Home Depot for another backup system.
Runs off of propane and gas. Dual use. The first one's always gonna take the longest.
Got your bowl o' parts.
These went in next, right, Mom? Just like this.
I hope so.
Now, what screws are these? Four little screws.
After 72 hours, after Seth and his mom departed from San Francisco, the autopilot started making a grinding sound, so they turned it off and hand steered the rest of the way. Our autopilot gears that we ordered finally arrived, so we began fixing our autopilot. When we opened the autopilot housing, we saw that the old gears were plastic, so we began removing the plastic gears and replacing them with the more heavy-duty metal gears that we ordered.
Oh, she turns.
I know, that's the hard part.
That is the hard part. Just like we planned it.
Getting there.
How far should I go to, like here?
Yes. Yeah.
Not much.
Just here's the-
further to go.
Here's the old one. The old one's sitting halfway.
Yeah,
About
not too far. Can I see bullet spin so I can see the other
Yeah.
side? Then I'll let you look at it, see how you feel. Boy, she's moving. I can feel her move. If I wasn't blind, I could see way better. You look at it, tell me what you think.
She's gonna take some patience and some finagling.
We'll get it. Get her dialed in.
Now we gotta go fish. Oh, that was close. I feel like that was close.
That one's as close as we've gotten.
Yeah, let's try that technique again.
After working with the gears, we finished installing them into the autopilot, and we can check that problem off the list. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you drop us a comment down below, like this video, and subscribe so that you can join us next week as we wrap up projects, put our hard work to the test and sail south 30 nautical miles from Marina del Rey to San Pedro.